Hey everybody, General Motors Jeff here from Prost Buick in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and behind me, this is the all-new from the ground up 2021 Buick Envision. And the one we're going to look at today is in the preferred package with the Sport Touring trim. Let's go have a look. Here it is, the much more sporty, as far as I'm concerned, looking 2021 Buick Envision. And as I mentioned off the top, we are looking at the preferred trim level. The preferred trim level, if you didn't know, in Buick is your entry trim level, but we've also added the ST, the Sport Touring package, and we will speak to that momentarily. As a heads up, I do have to apologize for the wind noise. Unfortunately, I have no control over that. I really want to get this video today. So again, apologize in advance for that. Now, this one right here, sticker price, I'm sure you want to know that. I do live in Canada, so keep this in mind, American friends. But Canadian price on the way we have this one trimmed out is $41,383 Canadian. But when you see your local dealer, there's some pretty good lease rates right now. But let's get off that for a second, and let's talk about what exactly is different. Well, I mean, right off the top, you can just tell it is a totally different vehicle than the 2020 version from a looks perspective, right? A lot more aggressive styling, sporty styling, and especially when you're adding those black wheels. I've sold Buicks for 8 years, and this is probably one of the first Buicks I've ever seen stock with black wheel, and I think it looks sharp, and it definitely looks younger. Now, the dimensions of this, though, this is actually a slightly bigger vehicle than the outgoing 2020 model, to the tune of a 1.1 inch longer wheelbase, all right? So it's a little bit longer wheelbase there. It's 1.7 inches wider, a little more planted, and 2.2 inches lower. So actually, that is a little bit lower there, 2.2 inches. And the overall length is 1.8 inches longer. Now, what is interesting is, despite the fact that it is a larger vehicle, of course by a little bit, is the fact that it's a little bit under 100 pounds lighter. So although it is longer and wider and longer wheelbase, it's actually a little bit lighter. So that's obviously going to play into, and one of the things I've learned about, doing my research on this, of course, as well, is it's actually got a 30%, whoa, I can't talk properly today, a 30% stiffer ride than the outgoing model, all right? And part of that is because it's on a newer platform, or a platform that's based off of the Cadillac XT4. So pretty cool there. All right, but let's talk about what makes this the ST Sport Touring package. Well, like most Buicks, at least in the past, you typically get a lot more chrome or polish, right? So when you get the Sport Touring package, you're getting this a little more aggressive and black grille, okay? So a darker grille. That's one of the things you're gonna get. Black mirror caps. So despite the color, you're getting the black mirror caps. You're getting the black trim along the bottom there. We'll get to that in a second. The black, the black kind of chrome, the dark bezels around the dual exhaust that comes out the back. Your black roof rails as well. And I love these wheels. 20-inch black, and they're almost like, I don't know if you can tell, maybe you can tell there. They've got like a metallic flake in it. So a black metallic flake, 20-inch aluminum wheel. Next, what I wanted to do is go underneath the hood and talk about what is powering this new Envision. Well, in the past with the 2020, we had two different engine choices. We had a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated, and we had the 2 liter turbocharged, which is what we have right here. There's only one engine choice, but it is a new version of the 2 liter turbo, 228 horsepower, 258 foot-pound of torque. I like the curve of it, and it's made it to the 9-speed auto transmission. If you want to have a look at that engine, I mean, unfortunately or fortunately, there's not much to see nowadays. Most is covered up because it's just getting fixed by the techs at your local dealer. All right, next let's jump out back and look at what's back here. So like the outgoing model, this is a 5-passenger SUV with the rear bench here. All right, the seats do drop down and they're pretty flat folding. See there, as you can see with the drop floor there. So you have a nice flat folding seat. All right, you do have USB-C plugins down there, and of course some ventilation back here for your rear passengers. And you can actually sit a normal sized human being back here, as it's pretty generous in size. All right, so welcome into the cockpit of the 2021 Envision, and I love some of the changes they've made in this. I'm not taking anything away from the outgoing 2020 model, but there's definite improvements, at least in my eyes anyway. Now, we are in the preferred trim, so you're gonna get the cloth seat with the leatherette trim, but leather, of course, is an option when you get to the higher trim levels, okay? One of the biggest improvements, at least in my eyes, or biggest changes, is something that's bigger, which is this right here, 10-inch color touchscreen. That is the largest screen you can get in any General Motors vehicle right now, and certainly the only 10-inch color touchscreen in the Buick lineup, at least as of now. The only other ones that really have this in SUV are your full-size Yukons and Tahoes. So that dash is pretty cool. It's almost all touchscreen, which I know a lot of you like, myself included, okay? They've changed some here as well with the ventilation system up there, a little new kind of vent, and we still, of course, have our vents down here, and your fan controls are down here. It's in transportation mode right now, so that's why we're not seeing that light up, just as if anybody's going to make a comment on the video. All right, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is pretty cool, and of course, you have things like navigation when you get to the higher trim levels that you're able to have. All right, so again, I love that color touchscreen. Now, push button start, of course, we still have that. One of the things I really like, though, one of the main changes, and some of you may not, I don't know, right here, electric shift. So we have this in our GMC Terrains, we have this in the new Yukons, the new Tahoes, but now we've adopted it here to the Buick Envision. To me, it's really well laid out. It's really easy to use. It came, like, I just started driving it and it automatically came to me. It wasn't something that I had to, like, concentrate on very much. So it's a nice laid out system. By the way, if you didn't know part of the reason why they do this, of course, it makes things a lot easier, but also reduces the cabin noise, because without having a shifter here and all the cables running through to the motor, they're able to close the motor off. And as we know, Buick loves to make their vehicles as quiet as possible, and it's not spared, of course, when we're talking about this vehicle here. All right, so you do have different drive modes. So if I press there, you can see up here on the screen, we can change the drive modes. Of course, Tour, all-wheel drive, and Sport, and then off-road. Again, because this is an all-wheel drive vehicle, you have a couple of different modes there. Okay, heated steering wheel, of course, which is kind of cool. Telescopic and tilt steering wheel. Down here, you have your button for the power lift gate. And again, pretty generous in size up here. I don't feel like I'm shoulder to shoulder. It's got kind of a unique, I don't know if I can get the camera to do it, but here we go. It's got kind of a unique split open thing there. Now, one thing I want to show you, did you see this cable just hanging out down here? First and foremost, it wouldn't normally be like this. We haven't PDI'd this vehicle, it's just come in. But if you can see that cable down here, my camera does not want to cooperate with me right now. But if you see that down there, we're going to step outside and I'm going to show you what that's all about. So that cable that's inside is actually the engine block heater cable, which plugs in right here. So it's nice and easy to use. If you didn't know this, by the way, and you live in Canada and you're going to use that engine block heater, it only starts working when it drops below minus 18 degrees Celsius. So it has a thermostat on it. So what's really cool about it is you can leave it plugged in all night and it only starts working when it's needed. All right, that is it for me today. That is the 2021 Buick Envision. What do you think? I love the improvements. I'd love to hear your comments below. Any questions, let me know. Cheers.